Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Thursday, March 17th. First of all, I want to say happy birthday, Devin. My son was born on St. Patty's Day, and happy St. Patrick's Day. It's one of my most favorite holidays. How apropos that my son was born on it. And so I really deeply love this day. So I miss you, Devin. He lives in Seattle now, and he is starting his life out there. And I wish I was there to celebrate your 21st birthday, bub. I love you. Anyhow, guys, sorry about my little personal message to my beautiful son. Let's talk about today, because today is an energy shift, a big energy shift. Mercury and Chiron align in Pisces. What does this mean? Well, Chiron is the wounded healer. It is the energy that makes us conscious, that's the key word, of where we're wounded. And we spend the majority of our life tending to that wound. Now, when we start out when we're younger, or when this wound becomes evident, it's just such a sweltering wound, and and as we go through our lives, we work on this wound, and for some of our life, the wound is the sensitive spot. If you've ever had a pretty serious scar, if you press on that scar, there's a sensitivity always in that scar. In fact, I had a really bad car accident, and I used to be able, like, when the weather would change and it would go from like a really nice day into like when the barometer would change, I would actually feel like a sharp, kind of uncomfortable pain in where that scar used to be. I don't so much have it anymore. I think, and this is what happens, and as you get to the 12th house side of your life, as you get toward the end of your life, or the cumulative ending of your life, the energy that you start working on your ending, you've learned all there is to learn, you've really tended to that wound, you've really worked through it, then you tell others how to, you guide others through facing that wound themselves. Now, of course, this is can be very, very psychological, and it could actually be physical as well, the reaction that you have to this wound in Chiron. Another part of this energy that I find very, very fascinating, and I kind of connected to in a strange level, I've never read it anywhere, but it's just a message that I deeply responded to, was the fact that there's a sense of duality in Chiron. Chiron is part, in mythology, it's part man and part beast. And so there's the strength of the beast, but there's the vulnerability of the man. And so that's something to keep in mind. And of course, this is in a dual energy on top of it, which is a Piscean energy. There's also that sense of the mystical beast being something that we create in our minds. And then there's the reality that we're only human. That is what I'm deeply feeling to tell you about this energy. The key is that this is combined with your mind. So you're healing a part of your mind, your thoughts, the way that you interpret things, the way you see things, the way you don't see things, the way you escape, the mental vulnerabilities you have, the mental strengths you have to give and to offer and to show compassion for, because you felt those things. You're very empathetic for some of you. This is to merge those energies. Very significant day, very healing. It's a flushing day. It could flush out that wound. For some of you that are at the phase of tending to the wound where it is still very raw, and you're still very vulnerable in that wound, there's a sense of the flushing and the healing, so that you can have, if you've ever done wound healing, they keep the dead skin trimmed back so healthy live skin can heal the wound, not just over and trap in all the bacteria, but from the sides and slowly heal the wound. This isn't about healing the wound over and submerging the wound and hiding from the wound, because then the wound's going to resurface again. It's about healing the wound like this and having it form together and really have tended to that wound for that scar to be nicely healed. For some of us, what we're doing is we're hiding from where we're wounded. And so the skin just held in all the bacteria, and the abscess is going to form again because we did not tend to the wound as we were told to, or as we have been guided to, or as we have been, spiritually asked to. So, I mean, it's a big, big energy. Problem is that there's a fog. There's a fog that's associated with this particular alignment because, Saturn is really honestly making you face this wound or the repercussions of the wounds or the sensitivities or the vulnerabilities that it created, or it is making you be the one that's out there being the compassionate healer and helping them through their wound cycle. So it's a very demanding energy, and it's been very difficult, and it's been very confusing, and there's been a lot of opposing energy asking you to seek balance. And I believe that this alignment comes in and kind of, for many of you, balances it out if you're staying in the high vibration, and all hell breaks loose in your mind, in the way that you're seeing things, in reality checks for some of you that have been really honestly registering the fact that you are wounded in this area. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I'm going to be right back to tell you how this is going to affect your sun, your moon, your rising. Oh, and you might want to check out your Mercury. Hi, Aries. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now, the positive in this is that passion for what your heart desires will realign, and that is because Mars is actually training the sun. This is all having to do with your mind and elevated learning. So I think there's a point of clarity. I think there's a point of realization, and I think that you're deeply aligned with the realization that you're coming upon. I believe that for some of you, your beliefs and the vision for the future will make it impossible for you not to want to probe for further answers. I think you're really energized by the clarity. I think that you see this as a growth opportunity, and as long as your heart, as long as this is what you desire, as long as you are motivated by a creative sun and your energetic Mars, I believe that there's a sense of needing to move forward in something, but having respect for what you've been through. I do believe that for some of you may be heavily influenced by the negative vibration in this. So normally you are on the go and you like to be the center of attention, but in this, energy levels may be for some of you very low. And you may be very, very sensitive. And you can be very hypersensitive at night. For some of you, you may not sleep well in this energy. Your dreams may be disturbing, or they may be unsettling, to say the least. If you are not facing something, I believe that it torments you in the night, and you silently suffer. And then it just makes you grumpy and hasty, and just, you wake up and you're just, you take out your mood on everybody around you because there's just something that's suppressed or something that you're not dealing with that I think is going to become clearer and clearer and clearer down the road as we go through this, as we get a little bit more Aryan. You start to feel a little bit more Aryan. Right now, all this Pisces has been flooding you, and some of you just may not deeply feel like yourself if you're caught in the negative vibration. You feel like nobody seems to understand, and this includes some of your closest relationships. Others may be telling you what you want to hear, but you intuitively feel that there's a lack of compassion for what you're deeply going through. I think for some of you, you just feel like people are just tending to care because they want you to shut up. Because you're really, when Aryan energy really gets in a negative vibration, you really want people to deeply feel, and you kind of browbeat people with words. You're very, very excessive. It's like a little kid that throws a tantrum, and because they can't get what they want, because they can't express themselves in its entirety, they just do this dramatic scene of emotional outbursts in order to get the attention they desire, then I don't think we really deeply understand where it actually stems from. I'm not saying that you're the type that's going to be out there throwing tantrums, but I do believe that if you're in a negative spin in this, instead of this divine clarity, and you're working behind the scenes and you're doing a lot of research and you're seeking counseling, that's positive. You want to work things out. There's a desire to come up with a solution, an ending, Piscean energy, the beginning, Aryan energy. I believe that you're kind of caught in this where you're not feeling quite all aired out. So that's okay. It happens to all of us. No big deal. Believe me, what's being flushed out is something you need to see. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Taurus. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now for you, Venus is in Pisces, and it's conjunct Neptune, and it's conjunct Chiron. So there is a sense of deep healing, of releasing the past, of acknowledging the past, of looking at the past. So you may feel compelled to help those closest to you that suffer from emotional, challenging times, and you want to tell them what they want to hear to restore their hope. You know what it's like to be in their situation. You've received some sense of healing, some sense of divine intervention. There's some peace of mind. There's a realization that everything is going to be fine, and you're kind of wanting to do the same for somebody else. It doesn't matter that you're not being, I don't think, divinely truthful. I think what you're just trying to do is at this point restore hope. You want to feel their thoughts with, you want to fill their thoughts with dreams and illusions that of better times are right around the corner. And you talk about it so much that you may be starting to believe in the illusions that you are creating for others. For some of you, there is a sense, I think divinely you know that everything is going to be fine. I think you're really attached to that. And I believe that you believe it so much that I believe that you're taking, there are things that you're not seeing. So many of you, at the same time that you're having this sweet, compassionate side explode and you're trying to be a rah-rah cheerleader for somebody else, I believe some of you and many of you are going to fall into the squaring off in this energy, because Mars is going to square off with all the Piscean energy. And there's a need that you don't need to worry about changing other people's outcomes. You need to worry about changing your own. You need to worry about what's coming your way. It could be, it could make you feel better to help divinely guide others and restore others' belief systems. But really the energy is really asking you, whoa, where are you? What are you not seeing? Where's your vulnerabilities? There's a sense of an emotional flood of love and what your heart needs, and the need to seek pleasure for yourself. So I feel like there's an imbalance deeply. I believe that fire energy is going to, it's like fire and water meet. And I believe that water is going to overcome the fire energy eventually. But I believe it's that point of steam when they impact that could lead to a lot of confusion in your thoughts. A lot of you're unclear of why this is all happening to you. I think there's a sense of vulnerability for some of you, but the realization that it's good too. I believe it's such a strange energy I'm tapping into for you. I believe that you're caught in that divine intervention, but at the same time, you're caught in, and you're really aligning with that. You're really aligning with it. Everything is okay, but there's a sense of just extreme vulnerability And there's a sense that change is coming, and you like to know what change is coming. You like to know what the changes are going to do to you. You like to be able to predict. You spend a great deal of time in your head really trying to harness what change is going to do to your life. Or if you need to make a change, you try to think it through, the details. In this energy, the details are not clear. And so there's a sense of vulnerability associated with it. And there's a sense whenever you get vulnerable, then this wound, this part of you festers up. Now, for some of you, it depends on how well you've been working through this wound. You could be the one that just has that sensitive wound, but you hold that wound close to you, and you are very respectful of where that sensitivity lies, and you understand that, hey, don't push it right now. There's a sense of, I need to, take a back seat and pull back a little bit. For some of you, there's a sense of ego, your sense of, I'm going to do it at all costs. You're judgmental, you're opinionated, and this is the way it's going to be. And I believe those are some of the people that are going to fall into the negative vibration, which is some of you may experience the feeling of being accountable for being overly judgmental. For some of you, there's going to be some very, very tough conversations about what you need to stop doing, and about the changes that you need to make. And this is going to be divinely guided. These changes it's very, very apparent what you need to do. And if you can't see it, then you're going to attract people who help you see it. I deeply believe. I believe those people will be in the form of friends, your circles. I believe that they're going to be some of your most intimate relationships are going to be like, gnawing at you to take care of this business, which really doesn't put you in a pleasant mood whatsoever. You may feel entitled and fall into a poor coping method. How dare they, talk to you about what you need to do when you're looking at their life and they've got their own crap going on. But every conversation between two people, doesn't matter if they're friends, loved ones, people are healers in this energy because they're going to show us what we can't see ourselves. So validate some of these conversations, especially if there's a consistency to these divine conversations. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Gemini. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning. So, this speaks to you in a special way because Mercury is your ruler, and it is being it is aligned with Chiron in Pisces. So this is all happening in that house where you're just trying to find your path. You walk up to a road, and there's two ways you could go. You either go left or you go right. And they're both right. They both will divinely guide you. But one is an extremely shorter road to happiness. And the other one is just a wandering journey through treacherous forest, but it's very exciting. But it's not as mellow and stable as this road. But this one's got, a lot to it that it just looks mysterious and intriguing if you walk down that road. This one looks like the safe road. But it's hard. It's hard when your mind is this clouded, when there's so much confusion to know which road to take. So your ruler is in Pisces, which is aligning with Chiron. Pisces energy is in opposition with so Virgo energy is opposing all Piscean energy. Your ruler being in Mercury in this alignment, in Pisces, and your oh God. If I make it through this, your reading is just hard for me to get the words out on, so I know that you're going to have one hell of a transit. I think what this is doing is this is healing the direction of where your thoughts go. This is healing balance. This is staying on track. I can tell you right now, I think it's going to be a feeling of being very, very impossible to do just because I can't seem to get the words out, and I have them wrote down on paper, so I can't even read it straight. So I know that you're going to be in for an interesting ride. This energy is all about finding balance and maintaining it. It is all about finding a career, life path, destiny that merges your twins right now. I believe your twins are walking in different directions. I've been saying this for a while. The mutable cross was really extreme for you, really split your twins in opposing directions. Whatever happened, it was very, it felt like just opposition, and it did not feel good. And there, you don't know which way to go. You feel like you're at that point that you need to make a decision, but there is just, it's extreme on both sides. And so you can't even begin to get your twins to go in the same direction for many of you in this energy. You must release the need to be habitually, you must release the need to habitually continue to maintain childhood programming and the need to find a purpose and a challenge that will both intellectually stimulate you but ground you. I feel that deeply the way that you were raised has something to do with the lack of balance in your life. This goes back to childhood programming or from friends from your childhood. So say your parents were great, but the friends you hung out with, you started doing what they did because you're a very mutable energy. And I believe it took you on a ride. And I believe that there's a sense of, I think you deeply understand that needs to change, but you're talking about reprogramming all the years that you've been alive to go in a different direction. One of your twins is willing. One of your twins is like, why not just do what I've always done? It's always worked for me. Why not? So I believe the healing in this energy has to do with the fact that you need to be respectful of the word balance. This is not an easy word for you. It's not, because how do you balance a duality within inside of yourself? And then if there was any programming that when you were a child that programmed you to be even unstable, or if you were raised in an unstable environment, then it makes it even harder because you never had that programming initially. So what you're having to do is create the tape based on no experience whatsoever. And I believe that that's where we're experiencing some issues. So the negative vibration is that you may need to tell a partner this, that you need to focus on you. I believe that for some of you that are partnered, these feel like relationships to me, but they could very well be people that you go to seek wisdom from. It could be, some sort of counseling or psychiatrist that you're trying to get on board with the way that you think. It could be people that you work with. It could be people that are outside influences that are shaping the way that you think. But it also could be relationships, unions, partnerships. I believe they're telling you things, and the reality of what they're saying is a bummer. It does not feel good, right? And when you get too much negative energy coming your way, because Saturn is squaring off with all the Piscean energy, and you're wanting to make a change and be overly optimistic, and you're wanting to look at the glass half full, and then there's the realism of what a partner is saying in your life of like, okay, yeah, you can be half full. You could choose this career, life path, destiny over here. You can go that direction, but I want you to see the obstacles. There's a wisdom in the advice of somebody that you're not appreciating. It's not aligning with you. That is just the universe giving you a guide. It's almost like that person's holding the flashlight in a really dark road. And that is the healing. That is Mercury aligning you with the way that you think. Don't look at this as opposition. Look at this as divine guidance. And if you could twist your head a little bit to that, I'm not asking you to mutate and just to be a puppet to what somebody wants. That's absolutely not a high form of vibration whatsoever. I believe that's some of the reason why you're here right now. But I definitely believe that there is something that you are not seeing, and that somebody with some wisdom has some clarity in that really honestly is very, very divine, and it's very beautiful. And I believe it's going to put you on the road to healing. And I believe it's going to put you on the road to mental consistency instead of inconsistency. And I believe that it's going to make you fall into better routines. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching this Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Cancer. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning. Now, I love this energy for you. If you don't let ego get in the way, meaning your ego being very, very ambitious, and you're just pouring all your energy into working and achieving some sort of status, I believe everything else is wonderful for you. So this alignment will impact you in the way that you project your boundaries and the way that you need to move forward. In the past, you may have believed that others at work, or your siblings, or your family, or your children, what they said to you. You allowed them to define you. Others grew to rely on mental manipulation because you're very easy to manipulate, because you're very caring and nurturing. I believe what you do is when you work, especially at work, I believe that you make that your family, and then you have your family. I believe you get caught in nurturing patterns with people, but you have to be very careful who you trust. There has been a lot of deception in your life, and there's been a lot of instability because of those misconceptions about the way that you're interpreting your environment, or the way that you see people, or the way that you want to, align them with. You're kind of like a little savior all the time. And I deeply believe you get in a lot of trouble because you stop concentrating on saving yourself. So I do believe, though, that's a thing of the past. I believe those karmic cycles are all ending, and I believe that you're at that point where you understand the vulnerability in that mindset. And because you have so much beautiful energy all sit in a trine, I believe that you're at the point where you're at that ending of that karmic cycle and the beginning of manifesting a new situation. You are going to fully embrace Aries energy. It's going to make you feel powerful, secure, and you're going to project a stronger crab. I think that what you're going to do is you're going to walk out there in your crab shell, and it's going to be unusual that you're going to be coming out in the environments that you're going to be coming out, because you know what? You're not vulnerable as you used to be. I do believe that for some of you may fall into a negative vibration if you do have some sort of partner, companion, union, partnership, even at work, or some sort of relationship where you guys have this sort of companionship. I believe that you're going to be having some very tough conversations. What you're going to do is you're going to be the nurturer in this energy, no matter if you're a male or a female, you're going to be the nurturer. You're going to be a tough love kind of mama, or mama bear in this energy. You'll love, you'll want to nurture, you'll want to care, but here's the reality. And that's not going to sit too well with a partner who is used to you being this smooshy, sweet little crab that they can mentally manipulate. Chiron healing the way that you see things and the way that you think about things. And you're at the end of your karmic cycles in this all these lessons have been learned. You're not going to put up with mental manipulation at this point anymore. You see the game. And this is very divinely guided. I'm very happy to say this. I went through cycles and cycles of not understanding, not seeing what I needed to see, because I just wanted to save everybody and put everybody under my mama wing. So I deeply, when I aligned with, I thought I desperately think it's beautiful. I think where the energy falls for me is now you need to focus your boundaries on maintaining your boundaries at work. you still will do whatever everybody says, or you still try to be too nurturing, or you still take on too much. You still don't want to disappoint. You still want to, like if somebody's suffering at work, you'll take all their work and you try to maintain, and you're going crazy. I think for many of you, you're going nuts. Like there's a sense of no peace, no fulfillment. There's no, I just don't believe that you're getting fed enough, because you're working so hard to maintain stability, I think, at home and with partnerships. And I definitely believe that you're being very dutiful, very responsible, tending to the details. You're very aligned, very beautiful in this energy. If somebody needs some wisdom, they need to go to a Cancer right now, because they're very deeply aligned with Jupiter's energy. And even though everybody else seems to be having difficult squares, you're actually in a trine with, you're in a sextile with Jupiter, and you're trining. You're in a sextile with Jupiter, and you're trining all the Piscean energy. So to me, what this suggests is that you have reached the middle ground. And so people can learn a lot from people who live in the middle. But you do need to stop people pleasing. You do need to stop trying to seek attention or seek recognition. You don't have to go to extremes to show everybody that you are somebody that somebody can count on. You know what? Your work speaks for itself. And if it doesn't, then you're not in the right line of work. And you need to just set that boundary that you still need to maintain you and your sensitivities and, your limitations. I think that you've been having a lot of tremendous pressure on you to develop your boundaries in your relationships. But now we're talking about, in your work environment. I deeply believe that for many of you, if you really can honestly look at this, is the fact that, you probably just need to expand the fact that you have the confidence now, that you know that you're something special, that you can stand out, but you can also be like, I can be in the background too if I need to be right now. And I believe there's a balance in that, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and god damn it. Thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading, dear Leos, for Mercury and Chiron aligning. Now for you, beautiful, lovely energy. You are one of the most blessed signs, I think, out of all of the signs in the entire zodiac. Everybody else is getting hammered with this Saturn square, but you are ordained in this. There's something you have done right, and you have been working hard, and it is your time. So right now, your ruler is conjunct with this alignment. When I'm talking that it's conjunct, meaning your sun, your desire is feeling very, very, very aligned with purpose, hope. I think you're feeling very creative. I think that your thoughts are going a mile a minute, and with each thought comes a new aspiration. And aspiration then connects you to creativity, which connects you to hope. So you are getting a buzz in this particular type of energy. I deeply feel that for some of you, you feel cared for and nurtured and loved. So I feel like you feel like you're really in touch with your feminine energy, and there's a balance between the feminine and the masculine energy right now, where people are very attracted to the caring and the compassion and the love, but the firm commitment to things, the desire to follow through. You're not one of those energies that are lost in not knowing where to follow through. You know exactly where to follow through, because your intuition is telling you, giving you the entire roadmap, and you are following it, and you are succeeding, I believe. I believe that the Sun, Mercury, and Chiron will bring you to a conclusion at the end of a karmic cycle that has been going on for quite some time. There is a death to an opinion and a realization that you are the one that has the power to change things moving forward. You are a healer in this energy, guiding others compassionately. You are motivated to help others and to find a solution. And there is an emotional suffering and ease their emotional suffering. You're just such a good soul in this energy. It's the highest form of Leo energy, and the highest form of Leo energy is just simply all heart. You know, very, very giving, very, very accepting in this energy. You are a bright ray of sunshine, and there is something that people need to hear from you. I believe that your sun is deeply aligning with this need to be there for others and not necessarily need to stand out. But then I believe that you eventually end up standing out because you're so compassionate. It merges you with brand new people and opportunities and mindsets, and there's just a sense of beauty and love in this energy. I completely love it for you. I don't have a lot of negative things to say. You're going to be a wonderful listener. You're going to be great for people to open up to. People may flood you and seek your healing words. Mercury and Chiron aligning. You're going to find that people just need to listen to you, or that they just feel better pouring their heart out to you. And you know exactly what to say and intuitively what they need to hear in order to make them feel better. I deeply believe that you are an angel from the heavens in this energy. Please, please, if people are coming to you, if they're overwhelming you, it's just because they need your divine intervention in this energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Virgos, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now, this is your ruler aligning with the wounded healer, so this is a big deal. Your ruler's energy and this alignment is opposing all of Virgo's energy. It's in opposition, and that's not a square. So this is about finding the balance between the way that others see you, the way that others interpret what you have to give or say, or the impact that you have, or the environment that you create. It's what they see, because this is all has to do with your first house as well. So I think you see yourself one way, and I believe that others may not be aligning with what you're hoping that they are. And there's a sense of confusion in that because you're trying, but I think that you just need a little clarity, and I believe that that's when we have a lot of divine intervention in this particular transit. There's a sense of you've kind of always been misunderstood in this energy, but I believe after this transit is over, what I believe that happens once we fall out of all this Pisces energy and we start going into all the Aryan energy, I believe that's the time where you're going to be able to take action on all the things and all the information that's been coming your way and the changes that you want to make. And, you know, just the focus returns on what is scattering your energy right now. I think that others are seeing you probably somewhat scattered, and you're used to seeing you together, dutiful, responsible all the time. But you've been opposing your energy, especially Virgo energy has been opposing all this Piscean energy, which is causing all hell to break loose, especially in your thoughts. You kind of get lost in your mind in this energy. So there's times where you're hypersensitive and times where you're dutiful. There's times where I feel like you have clarity, and then there's times where I feel like you're misunderstood and you don't understand. And you want to communicate effectively, but I don't feel like for some reason people aren't getting it, or the message isn't coming across the way that you would hope that it is. I believe that there's a realization in this energy, and that realization is what's going to heal this wounds moving forward. And I believe that then that vulnerability, that area in your life, or that point of being misunderstood, becomes a area that you know that you need to pump up and do some strength building. So for you, you know, if there's a weakness in your physical being, you just need to really work out that area and do some physical therapy and really increase the strength in that area. And I believe that that's what you need to do. Some of you may be questioning, a relationship in your life? The significance of it. Does it truly reflect you? Have you settled for some of you in your life? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of miscommunication at this point. Is this somebody that you really want to align yourself with? I think that a friend with a nurturing mentality may provide you with some insight, or a father figure may provide you with a creative solution that may help you bring you out of your shell. I believe for some of you, you get a little too caught up in conservative mindsets. I think there's a little bit of fear associated with standing out or speaking your opinion, the only time you speak your opinion is when you're critically guiding people in areas where you feel that, that improvement is necessary. And I'm not saying that you're not right, but if that's the only communication they get is some sort of negative communication, then I believe that they're misunderstanding you. You're not being negative. You're just constructively guiding them. And this is what will take it, this is what it'll take to get their life back to normal. For you, it's being helpful. For them, it's being critical. I believe that you need to say more. So it's all about having the flow of beautiful words coming out of your mouth equally as much as the criticism. So this is also about being brave and taking some risks more often. Stop being so conservative. You know what? If you like somebody, you need to say what you feel before the opportunity gets away and you never get to take that risk again. It could be, you lose a lot of opportunities sitting back and hoping the opportunity, if you do these little things, gets you noticed enough. And I believe that that's where some of the confusion lies as well. A negative vibration is you may fall into a habitual pattern where you see the flaws when picking a partner. You may also be hypercritical of these eccentricities. I believe for you, I think you initially fall in love rose-colored, like the Piscean side of you, or the opposing, where you just, you fall in love. That's the opposition. That's the self. That's the seventh house. That's where you learn. And then the realization is, as soon as they just start doing lots of little things that just annoy the hell out of you, and then before you know it, you're being more critical than you are accepting, and then it just goes into this weird negative spiral for you. I think the realization is, merge all of this. Find the middle to all of this energy. You need to heal these areas, these weaknesses, these habitual patterns. You need to accept that that the lessons that are being learned right now is divine guidance, and that there's a purpose for everything that you're going through, and that people can be very, very healing. They're not just filled with things they do wrong, and I mean, they're very, very necessary and very needed, and I think you're deeply attaching to that. But I think still it's to break that habitual pattern maybe that you're caught in. So to heal, you must meet in the middle in this energy. In order for you to keep in a high vibration, and in order for you to heal and get the most out of Chiron aligning with your thoughts, with your ruler, with your, you want to heal the environment that you're in. You want them to see you for who you are, and not misinterpret what you have to give. You've got to meet in the middle. So you must align with hope and create the desire that you deeply want. You've got to start envisioning not what's wrong with people, or wrong with the situation, or wrong with the environment, or wrong at work, or wrong here, or wrong there. You have got to do a little bit of Piscean splash to your personality, and you've got to rose color up some of what's right. So somebody has an eccentricity that's never going to change. Well, it's just their little quirk. And although it may drive you crazy, if you were to get hypercritical and focus on it, it'll drag that relationship or that thing into a negative vibration, and you will initially annihilate it with the subtle picking. Which, because I have a Venus in Virgo, so, I'm not saying anything that isn't speaking to me as well, but I'm just saying that this is about rising above all that. This is about getting what you want and keeping it. And this is about, standing out and standing tall and getting recognized for everything that you do. This is about having voices. This is about for me, I believe that you need to start taking some risks, especially when it comes to stabilizing your environment. At work, you got to start standing out because you've been working your butt off behind the scenes and nobody recognizes it because you I don't know, you work better just kind of behind the scenes. But it's time to stop all that and stand out. Maybe go for that promotion. Maybe go for the job that you've always wanted. Maybe stand out and talk to authority figure in your job and say, you know what, I've been doing this for a long time. Kind of deserve to be compensated. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, Libra. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron in Pisces. So for you, you've got your ruler. It's conjunct with Neptune, and it's conjunct with Chiron. So there's a lot of divine intervention and rituals, routines, in your work habits, in the way that you function at work, in your duties, your responsibilities, your mental well-being, and your physical well-being. So there's a lot at play here, but I think that there's a little bit of divine healing and guidance that comes into this. I think there's some clarity as you attach to your intuition. I think you deeply align with what is the next thing that you should do. So you feel compelled to avoid the truth, I think, for some of you, because Venus and all Piscean energy is squaring off with Mars and Sagittarius. Also in your third house, which means to me there is something that you're refusing to see, or you're interpreting your environment a little different, or some information that you don't want to face because you're wanting to rose color it all up. So I believe that you have observed a ritual of someone at work or a partner that you are investing some hope in. You are so hopeful that you have created this illusion that you are sympathetic and prefer to tell the person what they want to hear versus what in fact is going on. I believe that you're telling this person it so much because you want to be the guiding light out of their storm. You're starting to actually believe the deception yourself. I believe you're also compensating. I believe that you're being an enabler to whatever's going on in their lives, or you're overcompensating for somebody else's lack. I believe that what you're trying to do is help balance the trying times that maybe they're going through, but it's leading you to some form of imbalance as well. As the pressure starts to get to you, you don't get as much pleasure as you used to. I feel like you're just selflessly giving in this energy, and I don't believe there's a lot of really positive energy coming back. In fact, I think that you say the same thing and you act as if there's nothing there, and I believe that there's a sense of just you're creating an illusion. I think you're creating the illusion for the person or the situation that you're in, and I believe that it is not providing you with the stability that you need to move forward with. So what you need to do is understand that with every difficult energy comes a lesson in it, and I believe that there's a lack of balance at some point in some sort of ritual or routine, or somebody else's habits that you're excusing or overcompensating for, that I believe that you really honestly need to take a look at and see what your part is in it. Because to me, mentally, you're doing something to enable a wound of somebody else. Maybe somebody's went through something terrible in their life, or maybe they went through something difficult, and you have such deep compassion that you're allowing them to carry on and carry on and carry on about it excessively. And I don't believe at this point you know where to draw the line. It's like, well, then how do you say, okay, you know what, you've been doing this long enough. I've been picking up the slack here, but at some point, you got to help me out. I believe there's a difficulty in that. All this energy, I believe at this point, is saturating you in a negative vibration, and it's starting to make you suffer. It's hard not to let the energy of an individual or the situation that you've got yourself into not to actually become your situation. So as we get involved with people who are, or let's say our work environment is it's very high strung, and it's not well maintained. There's a lot of confusion. So we often merge to whatever our environment is. And so if we work in a very highly stressful situation, I believe then we start to take on some of those of that energy into our own lives, and we start to manifest instability. And I believe that if some of you are caught with these people that are trying to escape through drugs or alcohol, or if they're trying to escape their reality through poor coping methods, and you're just trying to excuse them and trying to pick up the slack while they're trying to figure it out, I believe that you're habitually falling into the same patterns that they are, which that's an enabler. So you've got to be super mindful of the fact that you are thirsty for pleasure and that you're really bored with all this. You're over it. Like, it's enough. I believe that for you, you want to end this karmic cycle. I believe that you're done making excuses. I believe that you're done not seeing it for what it is. I believe that a conversation is going to happen. That's going to clarify a boundary, because I believe that this person is really, you're over it. You're aligned with the healing. And you know that sometimes in order to heal, you have to back away and let them go through their process. And, because they need to get to their next level of life. You see how imbalanced they are, and you're ready to just, call a spade. And you're just getting restless. I mean, I believe that for some of you, you're very, very restless. You need to be stimulated again. And this isn't feeding you anymore. I love that you're in this energy. I love that you're caught in this square. I love that you're caught in this realization, because that is taking that next, stair to walking up to the next level of your building. Like, I believe that you just need to not look back and keep moving forward. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Scorpio. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning. Now, you may feel compelled to take a risk that you can see would provide you with a great deal of personal satisfaction. I see you on fire. So here's what I'm seeing. Okay. Mars, you have two rulers. You have Mars and Pluto. Pluto is deeply aligned with very positive energy and positive influences. Mars is very angry and negative and resentful, and it is being limited and held back, and that is not a Mars-based energy that works well in a high vibration, and it's opposing all of this Piscean energy. It's saying, to hell with all this deep water. I want to move forward. I want to swim through it. I want to face the storm, and I'm just over it. Because you value yourself enough to deal with the reality. To me, there's two sides to this risk. It's duality, and I believe that you need to merge yourself with what energy works. Some of you is just sheer anger and determination, and you're done, and your stinger's out, and you're ready to take care of some business and hold people accountable because you value yourself enough to. For some of you, the mental clarity, Chiron coming in and healing you, it's really aligning you with being at peace enough to take the risk. You've thought things through. There's a clarity in your thoughts. Your intuition is on fire. You know the direction. You're basing it solely on intuition and divine guidance versus ego and anger and stinger and Scorpio stuff. So it depends on whichever energy that you're aligning with, and however you're maintaining this opposition. The water has been very intense energy. 1 minute you seem like you're floating on a clear day, and then all of a sudden, within 20-30 minutes, it's just another wave that comes out of nowhere, a storm, and then you make it through that storm, and then the light comes out, and you take a little rest, and then it's just another. these waves they seem very, very external to me. It seems like what you're dealing with is just, outer influences, but it's still draining you either way. So, I believe that you want to move forward. I believe that your intuition is aligning you with a vision for the future. I believe that you are attaching a great deal of hope in this energy. I believe for some of you, if you're aligning with Pluto and you're taking your time, but you're considering that risk over there, you're aligning with it and you're saying, okay, if I take that risk and if I do these things, that risk is going to financially give me some stability, or it's going to provide me with the environment that I need to feel some sense of security. You're very, very aligned. This could also have to do with relationships, new relationships that are coming into your life. It also could have to do with some sort of creative endeavor you may be aligning yourself with. It's very high vibration in energy. It's very motivating. If you're aligning yourself with this stinger energy, it's all ego-based, and it's all, what you value and who you value and why you value, and you want to risk maybe going over here because, that one, there was a realization that the rose-colored glasses came off, and you know what? They were full of crap. And it just made you reassess, and you're ready to take action, but it just feels it feels like you're going to go on a storm if you do that. I think talking adds to the feel of what your heart desires for some of you, especially if you're aligning yourself with friends that have good rituals and good routines, friends that have been there, done that, friends that have life experience, and dutifully they have mastered the repetition in their lives in the area that you're very interested in. I would actually seek somebody, if you're trying to take a risk, and this is some sort of creative risk or financial risk, I believe that what I think you should really talk to people who walk the talk every single day. They have some very good pearls of wisdom if you're opening to releasing your ego a little bit and not trying to, be so in control. The negative vibration is that you may feel like you have a lot of water energy filling you with doubt. You want to take a risk. You're kind of deeply aligning with this, but I don't want to go through anything right now. Kind of what some of you could be feeling. Some of you may be attached to your routines, and you don't want to take the risk because it changes your routines. You're very, very habitual. Every single Scorpio I've ever known is just absolutely habitual. And in some facet of their life, they're habitual. So perhaps taking this risk, aligning yourself with somebody, perhaps, the conversations that you're having are really inspiring you to take this risk, but are you willing to give up your routine? I mean, I believe that some of you may be having a little inability to do that. So align yourself with your intuition, and your mind is very aligned with all this positivity, and you're going to be fine. Whatever your intuition tells you to do. I believe that it'll just save the day. I believe this energy has the ability to make you feel very vulnerable and to put you on a wild ride mentally, something that you could create all within your mind. As the reality of this wound festers and comes back up again, I believe that because of this alignment, I believe it's how you see it. Do you see it as something, a risk, and create stability? And if you talk to the people who went through the thing, I think that's great if you're aligning with Pluto. I believe that if some of you are vulnerable and you're angry and you are resentful because there was something that was pulled over your eyes that you didn't see, I believe you're going to align with something super negative. So it just depends on how you want to align your energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next Astrology Corner. Sagittarius, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now for you, your ruler is in the 10th house. It's conjunct the North Node, and it is in flat out opposition with this complete alignment. It is just opposing Piscean energy. You know, Virgo energy is opposite of Piscean energy. And so I think that remaining mentally balanced has been very challenging because the duties and responsibilities have currently exploded. And there's a sense of, I need more fun. I'm a little bit vulnerable. I'm being too duty oriented and I'm not getting enough pleasure. You're bummed. I feel like you're bummed. In this energy, I think that you are used to doing things with very limited accountability. I believe that the way that you viewed life before is meeting the way that you view your life now. Now, there are perks to this life. There are some things that have come into your life that have really stepped up the quality of your life. But it is how you see that. That's going to be where the instability and the lack of balance is. That's why this whole opposition is happening. I believe that the changes that are happening in your life have something to do with a wonderful nurturing energy, a feminine energy that has come into your life. That is really honestly, I don't know, there's something special about it. And I believe that you want to consider this and make the changes that you need to make. But I believe that the demands are frustrating because you are used to having a lot more fun and a lot more pleasure than you are having. It just seems like it's just too many tasks and not enough pleasure. Jupiter is very decadent, but in this energy, it's kind of pulling it down and it's not allowing Jupiter to do what it does, which bestoweth all the luck and gifts onto you. You're used to life just easy and going your way, and there's so much pleasure associated with your energy. But now the only way that you receive pleasure is by getting all your duties done, and then you get your pleasure, and that's just that's not the best form of energy. So I believe what this is asking you to do is how do you remain balanced in the state of opposition? Now, for some of you, this could mean that you become very ego-oriented. You start making your life all about you because you are the ones that are being molded it the most. And you are used to just walking off and doing whatever you want and not being accountable, or you're longing for that. Some of you may be longing for that life of like, you know what, I just remember when life used to be that easy. And there's a sense that for some of you, there could be some hidden resentment that you need to work through this. This is all the negative vibration of this energy. If some of you are just secretly looking at the grass that's greener the way it used to be. So you want to take a risk. I think you don't want to be accountable for some of you. I think that, you know, this life path destiny thing is just what comes along with it is just such a sense of responsibility that I think for some of you are finding it hard to make this commitment to, and even harder for you to have the clarity of even why are you making the commitment? I mean, why does it feel like now is the time? Why can't it be some other time that you make this commitment? I believe it's a beautiful time for you. I believe that you're being very hypercritical. I think you're over of what's being expected of you. In a high vibration, though, I believe that some of you are deeply aligning with the fact that you just got to walk the talk. What's in your life is worth it. And that you're going to be dutiful and responsible, and you're going to find a way to balance all of this, and you're ready to take on the challenge because you know that there's a higher purpose to all of this, and that you're deeply aligned and elevated, and Chiron has healed you. You know what it's like to live with the wound without this divine beauty in your life, these wonderful gifts that you've been given lately. And so if you're going through a little bit of a tough time, you can deal. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next Astrology Corner. Hi, dear Capricorn. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner. This is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now, I I don't even know what to say, because Saturn is, your ruler is just kicking ass and taking names. It is squaring off with all the Piscean energy, and it is trying an ego. Which is going to make you have one intensely, I think this is the revelation of the wound. See, Mercury and Chiron are working on you to help you see something, to help you work through mentally something. This is something that's repressed, or something from your past, or some sort of karmic lesson, but it's something that you need to see, something that either you don't want to see, or something that was difficult to see at the time. But now I believe that clarity comes into the picture. I believe that there's a realization, and I believe that for some of you, home and family is going to be some of your best support through this process. So, what is positive about Saturn squaring this alignment? What could possibly be positive? What can I pull out? Well, I think it's just the revelation. It's the awakening. It's the realization. That's the beauty. I believe we go through life and we refuse to see what we need to see, and we spend years in the wrong direction because we're not aligning with the right energy. And I don't believe that you're going to stay lost for long, because there's a sense of compassion from the universe to mold you from the inside out, and so that you can be very directional and be the leader that you always intended to be, especially if you're going to seek the levels of recognition that you need to see. You need to be a divine leader. And I believe that with that comes a realization of the fact that there's these vulnerabilities, there's these things that you need to work through. I believe that those things help others later down the line. So, I believe that some of you have a false sense of security. I think that you've created that in your mind. The realization that is bottled up is the fact that you have a lot of insecurities, and you are actually, okay, so you've bottled them all up, all these insecurities, and they're becoming toxic to your soul. The bacteria is festering in your wound for you. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And so what happened is you just decided, I'm going to block it up. I'm going to dam it. I'm going to act like that wound isn't there. But it's sealed in all the bacteria and the germs, and it's been festering and festering and festering. And now the wound is being exposed for what it is. And there's a sense that you have to wash that out and clarify it and clear it up and do some very extensive wound care in your mind. I believe that it is being very, very divinely guided. I believe that if you're smart and you don't want to square off in this energy, you will flush this wound and go through the realization. I believe right now you're a top priority. With your ruler in opposition, with all this healing energy to me, and the realization that it's there, how could you not consider yourself the center of all of this energy? Your ruler is squaring off with some of the most beautiful energy out there. So there's got to be some sort of divine reason for that. Negative vibration is your mind is playing tricks on you. You love to compartmentalize and believe that you are stronger than you are. You have the answers for everybody, and then you avoid what you have going on in you, and you really, honestly, you're like a teapot that sometimes is just always ready to blow. And often do, in really weird ways, by the way. I believe that many of you are suffering in silence and have been for quite some time, and you act out in these very strange, in weird ways. You have really weird fears that fester from nowhere, and then you seek control in strange ways, in strange areas that people find very difficult to understand. I think worse yet, you have others convinced that you are stronger and completely together than you actually are. I believe that you put on this presence in front of everybody like you have it all together, you've got it figured out. You can guide everybody. Look at me. I'm so amazing. This is what I can do all the time. But I don't believe so. I believe there's a price to pay for everything that you get in life, especially if you're at the levels of recognition The demands of positions of authority mentally build toxins in your mind as you deal with extremes in situations with your job and recognition. So I believe there's a sense that you need to release these areas and set yourself free from this toxic buildup that's been building. So this alignment is about an awakening. Your mind is aligning with hope. Healing energy is aligning you with others that are there to listen and release you from your toxic thoughts. Great time for some therapy. Great time to talk to some of your closest family members, especially if there is a family member, a nurturing energy for one, a feminine energy that has been through what you've been through. They may have some beautiful divine words of wisdom that may help divinely guide you. In other words, stop hiding what you're feeling and be vulnerable and open up. These conversations that you have are the key to moving forward and living the life that you've always secretly desired. And stop attracting negative, toxic situations that you have to relive over and over again. That's the whole karmic cycle. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next Astrology Limit. Hi, guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Pisces aligning, Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Now for you, you have two rulers. So you have Uranus in Aries and you have Saturn in Sagittarius, and Saturn in Sagittarius is squaring this alignment. So to me, this is about an awakening, a revelation. This is about something that you're not seeing or refusing to see, or something that you're turning a blind eye to intentionally to avoid seeing what you need to see. So you're on a journey. I think the only thing that I can say about this, because you have a tremendous amount of opposition, I would say squaring energy and a flat quincunx in your energy. I believe that all areas of your life are under a tremendous change. If you were to look at your friends and you were to see what they all have in common, what do they have in common? What are you attracting into your life? I believe for many of you, what you value is the key here. If you were valuing programming from your childhood and what they taught you to value, you went through your whole life valuing, I believe many of you are caught in a realization that perhaps the way that you grew up or the energy that you were aligning with was not truly divinely. Whenever I talk about negative energy, my nose itches. It's very weird. I just noticed it. But so for you, if I were to try to figure out if my life is just in this constant state of flux, and there's a lot of changes going on, and it seems like I'm having to grow exponentially, and there was no focus, there was no clarity, because it seemed like once I put out this fire here, this other fire pops up. Whenever stuff like this happens in my life, I understand that I'm doing something not aligned, or that I'm in a karmic cycle, or that there is something that I need to learn from this situation. When this happens, I believe something having to do with what you value, or the way that you value, or who or why you value what you value, is not divinely guided. It's off of the world. It's off of this physical world, and not so much off of what we were always meant to be. I believe that if you were to just, take a look back and just logically analyze your relationships, what's the commonality in all of them? I've done it before in my life, and the commonality or the common thing that I found very interesting in my relationships is that, you know, they seem to all fall under some sort of aspect of my father. And my father was not a good person. So there was always some tweak to their personality that had something to do with something I needed to work out with the way that I had been programmed when I was younger. And I got little snippets of it, and then I started getting full on, I'm dating my father type as I got older, as I could handle more and more reality. I believe that's where you're at. You're just at that sense of, I'm handling more and more of my programming, of my reality. And so a lot more areas of your life are under flux or under some sort of transformation, or you're trying to, in extremes, keep all the fires out at the same time. And I feel like there's a sense of, wow, what am I doing? Why am I, what's going wrong? Why am I, expending so much energy on everything that's coming up in my life? I just don't feel happy. I don't feel secure. I feel like I'm always at that point of, what else do I need to put out? What else do I need to deal with type energy, I believe. I believe that there is a sense that you love to portray being together and in control, but it seems like you have a lot of out of control circumstances in your life, which to me says that something internally is not in control. And so you're attracting stuff that is out of control to you, because I believe that you attract the energy that you're aligned with. And so to me, when I've been studying your energy, I just deeply believe that there's just an opposition. You refuse to acknowledge something. And it is really throwing things off for you. I'm hoping that this alignment, Mercury and Chiron aligning, will give you some sort of mental clarity, some peace, the realization that you are vulnerable here, that there is this wound, there is this issue, there's something that you need to see. I'm hoping that that's what happens. Or I think ideally, to stay in a high vibrations, that is what would need to happen. It would be conversations, especially with siblings or neighbors, people who know you really, really well. I believe that you're going to get some clarity, and I believe it's something to do with what you align your ego with, how you individuate yourself. I mean, but are you really the individual, or are you really just recreating the dysfunction that you had when, to me, I always see that when you're young. I do. And I believe that people give you a lot of outs in your life because you're just very fun and charming, but I believe there's just something that you're not seeing. I believe it had something to do with a masculine energy in your life. I see that every time I look at this. I believe that there was a strong influence of this very dominant soul in your life that really created some of this hardship. And I believe that you're on a journey of healing all of this. It's healing. You know, we could have had a wound that happened when we were really little that just healed over superficially, but had been festering and festering and festering for years. And now the toxicity is starting to bulge out of the skin. It's starting to come out. It wants to release from your system. And I believe that that's the cycle that you're at, is the toxicity is being released. And then you're dealing with kind of the aftermath of that and the healing part of it, the realization the wound's there, the realization there's something you need, the wound care, there's going to be a vulnerability there I believe that it's just a realization. Anyhow, guys, it's a beautiful, beautiful time for you. I know you don't look back at it now, but I've went through this cycle somewhat like yours. And at the time it seemed like it was never ending. I wanted to get off the ride. I wanted to get off of it fast. And it just never seemed like I could. I was putting out so many little weird external fires that I could not attend to what I was feeling at the time. And I believe that some of you may be going through that. And so I believe that just keep on going, because it gets better and better and better. And I'm telling you, after this, there's nothing that can take me down. and you will feel the same way. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event. Hi, dear Pisces. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for Mercury and Chiron aligning in Pisces. Lots and lots of Pisces energy, lots of healing. So, positive vibration for you is that this energy is aligning you with hope. You are interested in pleasure, and you're very, very intent on feeling it. You are at the point where duty and accountability is a bummer. You don't really want to face it. You're just this decadent soul that just wants to feel all the good stuff. I think mentally you're kind of feeling good. I think there's a release, there's an alignment. I think that you directionally know where to go and how, but I think how to get there may be difficult, but where to go is definitely on your radar. I think Jupiter opposing all of the Pisces energy will let you in on where you need to find the middle ground. I believe it's divine for you because I love oppositions. Oppositions are not squares or quincunxes. It's just, and I believe that you are very, very clear that if you go a little bit too far past this boundary, then you need to step it back because, you know, you want to avoid the areas that don't feel good, that don't make your soul feel good. Negative vibration in this energy for you is that you're going to have to work on the word balance. And this is a hard one for you. There's a duality in this energy. And the duality is between duties, responsibility, being task-oriented. None of your favorite words, by the way. And then there's this creative, hopeful, dreamy, the world is my oyster, I'm feeling aligned, everything feels like there's something coming. Intuitively, you know it. I believe that all the things that are coming up into your life are very, very opportunistic, seem very, very ordained. But there's just this sense of these little stupid tasks that keep coming up and keep distracting you when you want to focus on the good feelings. It can be very, very frustrating, and this is where Saturn comes into the picture. Part of being dutiful is paying your bills and making sure that, you know, the day-to-day things are done so you can go off and follow your dreams and follow your heart and develop your creative aspirations. In their life, the balance, it's like you get very extreme. So when you work, you're a workaholic. Or when you go seek pleasure, you love lots and lots of pleasure and you get addicted to it. So there's a sense of extremes in this. And so I see personally Pisceans really starting to balance out their extremes in this energy as we start to move through these transits that are all, and we're getting to the end of all these transits that are in Piscean energy. I believe that you are aligning with the word balance and that people will start to perceive you as a balanced creature instead of instability. I believe that a lot of people, when they meet Piscean people, they're just like, God, they're bing, 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 they're flaky, they're everywhere. You know, they don't seem to have a lot of validity and consistency to their thought process. They seem like you can't count on them. It seems like, you know, they're in love with all the right things, but they don't want to face any sort of reality or accountability to their actions. And I believe that that's where the confusion lies, is because to make you guys too accountable, then it removes the rose-colored glasses, but to not have your rose-colored glasses at all, then put you in a downward spiral into depression and pessimism and to poor coping methods and escapism. So there's a sense of balancing the extremes in your personality and the duality that I think you're going to be working through, especially after you've been processing that mutable cross. I believe that you don't like that extreme energy and you're more open to aligning yourself with a more consistent thought process, because mental extremes, especially in that mutable cross, did not feel good. And you now know that that is an area where you definitely need to redefine the way that you view and think about things. And with that comes some clarity, and with that comes some beautiful healing and the merging duality of energy and